Hello everyone and welcome to another Neurographica follow-along video. For the ones of you who know me, you know that the videos are for you to follow along, and if you want to dive deeper into Neurographica and its wonderful method of changing your subconscious beliefs and transforming your realities, I do one-on-one classes, I do online sessions for a deep dive. This video is just for you to get a basic understanding of what Neurographica is, how it works, what are the steps, different algorithms, and the most important thing in Neurographica is to follow all the steps from the beginning to the end, because you're really rewiring your neural network. You're creating new neuron connections, and you need to do it from beginning to the end in a very particular way. So in this video, I will be guiding you through all the steps to do this correctly, so your inner beliefs change and your reality transforms. For me personally, this has been a wonderful method into transforming my reality, into becoming calmer, relaxed, almost stress-free in different situations. I am taking things lightly. I see how things around me change, and I'm also making the changes. Since I've started drawing Neurographica, I've become so much more energized, so much more alive. I absolutely love doing this, and I really see my reality transform. Now, you can work with a theme. So if there is a particular situation in your life that needs a change, and you don't really know how to tackle that change, you don't really know where to start, how to transform that particular situation. If it's your finances, money, work, relationships, health, you're stuck. So this is what you come to Neurographic for. You draw and you release limiting beliefs in that particular situations. You make new neuron pathways, and your reality transforms. Now, the only thing to remember is that if you draw just once, if you do one drawing, for example, your theme is relationship, and you want to find a new partner, a love in your life. If you do just one drawing, not so much is going to change probably, because your neuron connections have already, established themselves in a particular way. And if you want a change to happen, you need to draw one drawing, themed relationships, another drawing, and another one, from like 5 to 10 at least, to create those new neuron connections and for your reality to transform, to really attract a new partner in your life without the old patterning. This is what Neurographic does. And since I touched on this topic, I would like to invite you to my retreat, which I'm doing in Malta at the end of September. There will be 2 retreats. One of them is Love Retreat, Awaken Love Retreat. I invite all the couples and singles who would like to make new neuron connections in their relationships, in their love. So every single day we will be drawing different algorithms, we will be drawing different approaches to Neurographica, which will allow you to transform your limiting beliefs, to get rid of all the old patterns and create new ones. Okay, so for today's follow-along video, we will be doing an algorithm called Releasing Limitations. So recreating new neuronal pathways. You will need a blank sheet of paper, black markers, and highlighters. Okay, let's start. Once you've prepared your drawing supplies, your blank piece of paper, your markers, and highlighters, we can start. So select a theme. I will be working with theme around money. So I will write that down. I'm going to use this side in my notebook for the notes. You can also use another side of another page or a blank sheet of paper. And we're going to start by writing your theme and connecting to it. So you're looking at your theme that you wrote down, you're taking a deep breath in and out, release everything. Because this algorithm, it's called releasing limitations. So we will be releasing limitations that is revolved around money and releasing those old patternings, all of those subconscious beliefs that are not letting you earn more money, that are not letting you move forward with higher income. So we're going to do the first step of drawing Neurographica. It is 2 minutes and words that come to your mind. So we're going to start writing words. They could be negative words, they could be positive words, whatever comes to your mind. We're just writing them down. And it has to be a flow of words. It has to be an absolute flow where you're not thinking, you're connecting to your subconscious beliefs, and you are just releasing that. So let's begin. Write all the words that come to your mind associated with money. Okay, and we're done. So this is the first step, is to get your subconscious mind working, flowing, and this is how we're going to start drawing Neurographica. So now we're coming to our blank sheet of paper, and what we're going to do is called a release. Thinking about your theme, money, we are going to focus on that word, and we're going to take a deep breath in and release. This is my release. You're just creating an explosion. You can do it with a sound, like you've heard me taking a deep breath in, breath out, and just creating this explosion on your piece of paper. This is a very important first step in the algorithm called releasing limitations. So please take your time and do this release. Okay, now we're going to look at your release and we're going to notice some shapes. And we're going to outline those shapes. So for example, I see this shape here. I see another one here. Since I'm doing just a follow along video, I'm not going to get this complicated because in if you'll do an actual tutorial, you will give each shape a particular word that is associated with theme money. But for now, for this follow along video, I'm simplifying it and I'm just drawing the shapes in my release shape. This release shape is like your ego, basically. You're creating a map out of how your ego is and what it is about in the theme of money. I'm not going to get into explanation about what this means. I'm just finding the shapes in my release. And after that, I'm going to connect all of them in one line. So I'm going to create an outline of my release. I'm going to connect all the shapes that I established. I'm going to go over them and create a closed form. And the next step is to dissolve my ego in the environment, in the background. The background is like an environment. This is internal. Your ego, your subconscious, it is internal. And everything that is around you is external. So in a way, we need to almost dissolve our limiting beliefs in the background. And we're going to do that by drawing lines, by drawing neuro lines. So if I see something is sticking out from my release, I'm going to continue it and dissolve my shape in the background. The lines are free flowing. I'm not thinking where are they going. The step that I'm doing right now is dissolving my shape. So when someone looks at my drawing, they will not even see my release, my initial release. So I'm continuing with lines. Dissolving anything. The more lines you have on your drawing, the more neuron connections you're creating and the more positive results you're going to get from this work. Free flowing lines. I'm going to add more. And the next step is to round all the intersections. So everywhere where my lines are intersecting, I am rounding them. If you're using a thick marker, you will do this faster, because if you are using something thin, this might take you a few hours to complete. But if you're using a thick marker, this should be just easier. Now, during Neurographica, you can get resistance because you are working with your subconscious, you're working with your limiting beliefs. At one point, your brain might be like, this is getting too much for me, or you might get a headache, or you might get very thirsty or hungry. This is very normal because we're not just creating a drawing now, we're actually working with your subconscious mind. And when you're creating new neuronal pathways, your brain, it goes like, wow, what is this? This is new, this is unusual. My head hurts, I want to eat, I want to drink, I want to sleep. You can have different reactions. It's also very important to take a note of how your body is feeling, how it is reacting to Neurographica. And the more that you will be drawing, the more you will feel your body and you will understand how it reacts in different algorithms, in different steps of the algorithms. You will get really familiar with your body and with your feelings, And this is very crucial in Neurographica to see how does certain step of the algorithm makes you feel, what kind of thoughts you have. You have to pay attention to everything because your body knows everything. It's just that usually we're disconnected from our bodies, that we don't really listen. We don't really listen to our intuition. All of us have intuition, and it's the matter of listening to it. And Neurographica helps you to listen to your intuition. It helps you to make more conscious decisions in your life, other than just creating new neuronal pathways. For example, for me, it makes me very energized. It gives me energy for my projects or for my day. If I'm feeling low, all I know that I need to do is sit down and draw an algorithm, and I am almost instantly energized and uplifted, in a good mood. For this reason, I really love using this method, even for my own mood. Okay, so you might need more time to do the step of rounding all the corners. Make sure that everything is rounded. This is a very important safety step in your work, that there are no sharp corners. So please don't stop until everything is rounded, until there are no sharp corners on your page whatsoever. This is very important, because if you leave something sharp, it means that your neural pathway is not established, and it's going to freak out a little bit. So make sure to take your time to really put time into rounding everything, because this is one of the most important steps. Okay. Just need a few more. Sometimes you notice sharp corners later on, and that's fine. You just need to fix them. But for now, whatever you see, just make sure to round it. Okay, I am done with this step. Now we're going to add color. We're adding color in a very intuitive way. For example, pink. This is how I feel, that I want to use pink to start. I'm not really analyzing this for now. I'm just going to color some shapes in pink. Also make sure that once you color one shape, color the one that borderlines it. Not here, not there, but the one that borderlines. Once you border two shapes, you can move on and change the color, switch to another shade. Okay, take this yellow. Also very important to use highlighters, because highlighters can mix. For example, like that, can mix them. Also I can go like loose, like that. I don't need to, color everything. Color is very intuitive. You color as you feel. The only important thing is not to use metallized markers. Using highlighters works because it gives like a bold effect. It sends a bold message to your subconscious mind. This is how you're really, changing your beliefs, by using bold colors. Your subconscious effect reacts to boldness, to contrast. This is when you're establishing new neuronal pathways. Sometimes I like to use a lot of color in the center, and the rest is a little bit loose. is also fine. Neurographica. Be really intuitive with your color. Draw as you feel. Here there is no right and no wrong, as long as you color to touching like this, and the rest how you feel. And here, for example, I noticed the sharp corner, so I'm going to take my marker and even that sharpness. Okay. And also here. I'm going to continue shading. You can also do it with color pencils, but the most effect you get when you do it with highlighters. I found more sharp corners that I'm going to smoothen. Beautiful. Okay. And the next step is to draw a very thick line that runs through the entire sheet of paper, through this entire work. This is called a divine line or energy line that gives more energy to your work. Usually you would already notice where it belongs. For example, I see it here. I already see this line. So I'm going to take a very sharp marker, like this sharp, and I'm going to draw this line in a very free-flowing way going up the sheet. So from one side to another, and it has to be really thick. It has to be so far the thickest line on the page. So very thick. If you feel like, you can add another line. So I feel like I want to add a line here. Also making it the same thickness. So these lines, they're giving energy to my new neuronal pathways. And another very important step is to round everything, because I've created some sharp edges, some corners, so I'm going to round them. I'm going to go over my line, see where I've created sharpness, and smoothen everything. Absolutely everything. And this line too, you can add 3-4 lines if you really feel like you need to add more energy to your work. This is very intuitive. The rule is that you have to add at least one thick line running from one side of your work to another, and then you can add more if you really feel like adding more. Okay, so after you've smoothened everything, now we have to draw a fixating shape. It's a round shape that is going to fixate everything. It's a circle. So, for example, when I look at my drawing, I see that there is some sort of almost like a circle shape right here. So I'm going to draw a big circle right here. And this circle has to be also very, very thick. So I am going to draw it here like that. It doesn't have to be a perfect circle, as long as it's some sort of a a rounded circular shape. That's good enough. So you're fixating all of your new neuron connections that you've just created with the circle. And it always has to be a circle. This is, again, a very important rule. And the last step is that you smoothen all the corners that were created with the circle. Okay, we're going everywhere, smoothing. Basically, you just follow the circle and you smoothen everything. Okay, I'm done. And now the very last step that I'm going to do is that I'm going to put the timer for 2 minutes, and I'm going to write again my words. So I'm going to use this side of my note side paper, and I'm going to again write all the words that come to my mind, that flow in my subconscious, and then I'm going to see what is the difference between the words in the beginning when we were just starting and at the end when we finished. So when you finish your drawing, please put a timer for 2 minutes and write all the words that come to your mind, and you will see how the words change. They will reflect the work that we've done today. Thank you so much for following along with me, and stay tuned for my other follow along video tutorials. Wishing everyone a beautiful